Good evening, viewer. Welcome once again to Clevernet TV and radio. And this is Topsol Business Hour. My name is still Akinshola Ogundiya, and I'm so glad to have you again tonight. Well, it's another beautiful day. The sun has really been good to us today. It's been a bit warm, okay, so it's quite better than the previous days. I mean, so summer is really coming close for us in Spain. I mean, in Mallorca, anyway. So I'm really glad that you're watching right now. Today, I'm going to be taking it so easy because I really want us to talk. Okay, I want to talk to you watching me right now. So I want to talk to you personally today about starting business or improving your own business or talking about the business dynamics. So let's look at it today. And like I always say, what I want you to do for me right now, I mean, the only gift you can give to me right now is to click on that share button and share this to all your friends. You can also invite your friends to watch. Like I always say to you, I can assure you that they're going to thank you for that. They're going to appreciate you for inviting them to watch this program. Because today we're going to continue on what we started last week. Last week we started talking about business itself. We were able to define what business is. Well, in my own way, okay? I mean, not everyone was going to agree with that, but in my own perspective, and I believe that the perspective that anyone that believes in starting a business should see business. We were able to describe business as not just an activity, but a way of life, okay? And we were able to understand that every man, as long as you are living on the planet Earth, you are involved in business, whether passively or actively. Okay, so that's one truth that you need to understand. Is either you are involved in business consciously or you are involved in it unconsciously. So, but whichever way you view it, you are part of business because business is about providing service, products, and goods, even to people that need them in exchange for value. And if you look at that definition, you find out that you always have a role to play in that. And we talked about the 5 players in business. Okay, I'm not going to go through that again. I would only encourage you to see the last video that we did last week. If you missed it, you can go on Clevernut TV page on their Facebook page, or you go to Topsol page. You're going to find it there. Watch it and you're going to be blessed. Okay, so today we're just going to move on. Funke Agbeja, thank you for joining. I hope you have clicked on that share button and help me invite Bumi Okpatola, okay, and Eli Kabruk, Funke from long way back. Thank you very much for watching from the United States. And as people come online today, I really want to appreciate people. You know, I got one of my kid brothers, I mean, one of my brothers back in the days, sending me a message today at work, and he said, listen, I always get motivated every Monday when I watch your live program. He said, also you see that? He said, yes, of course, I don't miss it. And I said I was going to give a shout out to him, and that's Babatunde Oyebamiji. We used to call him Bongolet. Okay, I mean, we had a little chat while I was working today, and it was nice talking to him. I hope he still joins tonight, and I'll still give him a shout out. So if you're joining tonight, I'm going to give you a shout out as I see you, because I just want us to discuss tonight. But notwithstanding, we're going to move on a little bit further. Today, I just want you to, I want us to discuss some important things that we need to know when starting our own business. There are certain things that we need to put into consideration, and this is also going to help a lot of people that have been thinking on how to start out in business and what business can I do. You know, like I said last week, it's very difficult for someone to tell you exact business that you should do, and this is the reason. And that's the first thing I want to talk about. I'm just going to talk about 4 points here tonight, briefly, but this first point is very important. And, you know, I've been listening to a lot of people and a lot of successful people. I try to listen to successful people. You know why? Because it is always said that when you follow successful people, you need to follow their steps. Why? Because success always leaves a trail. All right, so there is always a trail that success leaves. I mean, so that's why I listen to successful people. I listen to other people too, but it's good to listen to very successful people. And I found out that there is a way that people that have succeeded in business, there is a way they think that is quite different from the way we think. You know, a lot of times you've heard it said that if you want to get a business opportunity, look at the problems around. When you look at the problems that you have around in the world, when you look at the problems that you have around in your environment, then you see business opportunities. Well, probably that can work for people, but you find out that it doesn't really work every time. Why? Because it is a wrong perspective. People that really succeed in business and people that actually start business genuinely, they don't look in that perspective. So how do they look? I said that you have to start from within, outside. Okay, you have to start from within out in your thinking. Now, so when you want to start thinking about business or starting business, now you have to start from inside out and not from outside in. You don't look at problems and say, well, I think I can bring out an opportunity from this. No, you're not going to be able to start a good business like that. The reason why a lot of people go into business is because they needed money. I mean, they were broke, and this is why lots of businesses fail, especially in Africa, because people actually do business in Africa to survive. You find out that people, when they are broke, when they are hungry, or maybe someone that has gone to school and has not gotten a job, the next thing they think of is, okay, let me just start a business. Why? Because I need to survive. And I've asked this question to someone before. I was actually speaking with a lady. I've never known her from anywhere. I mean, I just connected her on Facebook, and I asked her, I said, what do you do? She said, I'm into fashion designing. And I said, wow, that's beautiful. I said, is that what you studied in school? She said, no, I studied accounting. And I said, well, it's all right. I mean, but you actually, you're trying, you design good. And she said, yes, well, I mean, when we have nothing to do, I just decided to do this till I will get an accounting job. I was like, wow. I said, so you started out this business because you feel that you can just do it till you get an option. And she said, yes. And I said, okay. Now, after some years, because I actually wanted to invest into that business for her, but that answer, I had a question on it. And I felt within my spirit that this person was not going to last in business, because even if I invest so much in such a business, it means that the moment she gets a job in the bank, she's going to close her business. And that's the situation of many of us. That's the situation that a lot of people, especially in Africa, have found themselves. So they close up their businesses because it's an option. I mean, so you find out that the motivation, okay, for starting such business did not come from within. It came from outside. It was hunger that actually provoked them to start such a business. Now, businesses like that don't last. Why? Because when the other option comes up, you neglect the one that you already have as a business. So that's the first point I want you to understand tonight. So if you're thinking about starting business, if you're thinking about, maybe after last week, you started considering that, all right, I think since I'm part of business anyhow, whether I am conscious of it or unconscious, you are part of business. You're either a retailer, you're either a supplier, or you are a consumer, or you're a critic, or you're an announcer or an advertiser. I mean, you are part of business anyhow. I mean, so maybe you are now cautious of that fact and you now want to cautiously go into business. Then my advice for you is this: you have to start thinking from within. And there are two things, okay, that helps us to think from within. And I will share my personal experience with you. All right. How did I come to do what I'm doing today? How did I come to start all the businesses that I've started today? I'm going to share a little bit of that with you. And maybe you will understand what I'm trying to say. But don't let your environment dictate the business that you're going to start. Now, the people, because you might say to me that, but people used to say that when you see a problem, then it's an opportunity to start business. Yes, it's an opportunity to start business when there is a light, when there is fire that is kindled on your inside. Okay, so that's why I say you have to think from inside out. Now, so what do we mean by thinking from inside out? Well, there are lots of people that are watching right now. Mr. Carlos, Omega Johnson. This is Prophet Leo Johnson. I appreciate God for you, and thanks for watching. Pat Ekato. This is another woman that I love so much. She's doing good in business. I love the way she does business. She's passionate about it. Thank you very much for watching. Chukwemeka, Benjamin Yemachi, Vincent Okwosa, my brother. Thank you very much for watching. Now, tonight we're just discussing, okay, but I want you to pick wisdom in what I'm saying. All right, now let me go back to what I've been saying. So I said you have to start thinking, okay, from inside out. I said two things actually helps us in that. Now, so what I'll tell you is this: you have to consider two things that can actually trigger or start, the fire for business in you, the first one is passion. Do you know that passion is not something that comes from the outside? Passion is actually something that comes from the inside. Someone said the other day, he said, can you describe what love is? Can you describe, or can you actually define the love you have for your wife? I thought about it so much, and I looked through and I said, actually, I can't actually define it. I don't even know why I love her. It's like that. It doesn't come from the outside. It's not because she's black or because she's tall or because she's slim. If all those things are no longer there, will you still love her? Yes, I'll still love her. So why do you love her? It's a question that you cannot answer. Why? Because it comes from within. And that's how business is supposed to be. So the business that you're going to start has to come from within. So that's why I said the first thing that you have to check is your passion. When you are passionate about something, then it's possible that you'll be able to start a business in that line and you'll be able to succeed. I'm talking about successful businesses now. I'm not just talking about just starting any business. Anybody can start any business. All right? I hope I'm making some sense, especially in countries where there is less control, less taxes, and the system is not so organized. Like Africa, like in Nigeria, I can really talk about Nigeria. I can get to Nigeria today and start any business and make millions. It's very possible. Why? Because the system is not really there. The control is not really there. I can really start anything I just want. Okay? Now, that's not what I'm talking about, because such a business, I might not last in it. By the time I get a lot of money, you find out that I will just divert and I start doing something else. And before you know it, what I actually started out to do will be forgotten. So that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people that really want to give themselves to business. People that actually have passion. So when you look at these elements, which is called passion, you need to make sure that the business you want to start is coming out from that. You begin to think about your passion. What are the things you are passionate about? The second element that comes from within that actually helps us to kickstart in business is your anger. What are you angry about? These are emotional stuffs. They are emotional elements. Passion is an emotion, and so is your anger. What are you angry about? Whatever you are angry about can actually ignite the fire for business in your life or in you. What are you angry about? When I came to Spain, I must be sincere with you, and this is not to embarrass anyone, but the first thing I saw when I came to this land is the low level of the knowledge of the language amongst, my own fellow Nigerians and some other immigrants, especially the African immigrants. I saw that people just didn't like the language. People were not passionate about the language. And every time I went to offices, I had to interpret for my fellow Nigerians and fellow Africans. It baffled me and I got angry. Sometimes I talked with them with anger, like, can't you just learn this language? No, it's difficult. No, it's not difficult. I get so angry about it. And I began to think about it. I said, okay, I think I can begin to teach people. And that's why I have a class where I teach people Spanish. Why? Because it came out of anger. Honestly, I didn't really have passion, to be a class teacher. I'm sorry to say, but because my father was one, and my mom, my father was a lecturer, my mom was a principal. She was a secondary school teacher until she became a principal. And I really didn't envy them when we were in Nigeria. Those of you that are Nigerians, you can testify to what I'm saying. They didn't get paid. That was it. We were poor. And so I hated teaching. Okay? I hated teaching. So it wasn't my passion, but it was my anger. My anger for the fact that my fellow immigrants are suffering because of language. And I felt like, okay, I'm going to start teaching. No matter what. I'm not perfect in the language, but I can still teach. At least I can still teach the ABC. Okay? So that was anger. Okay? So those two elements actually help us to start in business. Your passion and your hunger. So what I'm saying tonight is this: you have to start from within out. So tonight, I think you should start thinking about your passion. What are you passionate about? What are the things that you love to do? What are the things that you love to see around you? What are the things that when you see it, you just love it? When I was very young, let me share my first experience with you. Why did I want to become a teacher, a motivational speaker, an inspirational speaker? When I was very young, I saw Smith Bam. I don't know if many of us might not know him. He was very popular in Ibadan. Then he was an upcoming motivational speaker. And I saw him one day at a seminar, and the way he was talking and the way he carried himself, and he was talking and he was quoting quotes. I don't know much about quotes anyway, because my brain is not that sharp. So I forget when I try to learn them. But I can still get some things, But I saw his passion and I loved it. And I looked at him and I said, yes, I can do this. And from that day forward, I started practicing. I was going to speak to trees. I was going to speak to chairs. My brother was going to laugh at me. It was so crazy. But I kept doing that. I kept practicing. I kept reading books. And I met him one day. And he just asked me one question. And that question changed my life forever. He asked me a question. He looked at me because I went to his office and I said, I want you to be my mentor. He said, are you serious? I said, yeah. I said, I want to be like you. I want to be a motivational speaker. I want to be, a teacher. I want to be an instructor, a consultant. And he saw the passion in me, and he asked me one simple question. And he said, what is the best thing that you should do about your future? And I looked at that question, and I was very spiritual then. I'm still very spiritual anyway. But I looked at that question. I said to him, to pray. You have to pray about your future. And he looked at me and he shook his head. And he said, okay, if I will be your mentor, you're going to learn a lot of things. He said, the best thing to do about your future is not to pray. He said, the best thing to do about your future is to plan and to work it out. And I looked at him. He said, to plan and to work it out. He said, you create your future. He said, that's the best thing to do about your future. He said, prayers won't do it. He said, you have to create it. And from that moment, I said, okay, how do I create my future? He said, you have to read. You have to learn. You have to listen to people. You have to be, you have to put yourself into the things that you love to do. And from that moment, I started, training myself. Those of us that came from Ibadan, we don't speak English like this, my brothers don't speak English like this. I had to learn it. Okay, I had to learn it. I've never been to England. I've never traveled out of, from Nigeria, I came to Spain. So we don't even speak English here. But I had to learn it. I had to put myself into it. Okay, because that's what it takes. Why? Because that was my passion. I loved seeing people that motivate others. And I decided to put my business around that. I write books now. I write motivational books. I write books that encourage people in business. I write now. I'm an author. Okay, why? Because I have passion for it. So you need to begin to think inside of you. What are the things that you see around? Do you love it when someone sings good music? Do you see yourself on the stage singing? Do you see yourself singing to change lives? Then probably you need to explore that. Do you see yourself, selling? Some people just love to sell. They love to sell. They love to sell. If you see yourself selling, then you might need to explore that. Maybe you need to get a product that you begin to sell. But like I said, you need to start from where? From inside. What are your passions? And what are the things that get you angry? Don't tell me things that are general. Things that are particular, that on a good day, other people will go like, but it's not a big deal. But you go like, no, it's a big deal. Maybe the way they serve food. You don't like the way they serve food when you go to parties. Maybe you can become an event planner. I love things being planned and well organized. But when I see people bring out low quality or low standard services, it annoys me. It gets me angry. All right. And I began to look at it like, listen, I can do these things better. I can teach people to be better. I can teach people on how to organize things, how to bring standard into what you do. And standard has always been my motto. Everything I want to do, I want it to be standard. I want to be first class. I was saying to my producer today, I said, well, I hope that other people like me will come up, with programs like what I'm doing today. He said, why? I said, yeah. I said, because when they start, it will provoke me to be better. I want people to challenge what I do. I want people to compete with what I do. Why? Because I love standard. I love raising the bars. I was telling that my brother that called in today, I said, listen, I've been raising the bars and I'm hoping that one day my head will be above the water and I'll be able to swim out. That's how I live my life. Every day I want to be better. So when I see low standard things, it gets me angry. And that's where my businesses come from. Why do I need to teach people about business? Why do I need to teach people about raising the standards? Because that is what gets me angry when I don't see you. Why do I have to tell people to live to the fullest of their capacity and capabilities? Because that is what gets me angry. I was coming from work today and I was with a colleague. She's French, actually. And we were talking and we got to a place where we have some junkies that sleep there. I mean, when we saw that, she was the first person that cried out and said, oh my God, what is this? And I said to her, look at those people. They actually have no problems. I said, the only problem they have is that they have accepted the status quo that life has brought to them. And they have believed in their minds that they cannot live better than this. And that's why they will live on the, very dirty area. They live on the street, they sleep on the street. The truth is, everyone can actually decide to sleep on the street when life actually got at us. Some of us decided to just fight back. Okay, so when I see people like that, it provokes something within me. It makes me want to teach. It makes me want to, encourage somebody to live to the best of their abilities. So I don't know if you are the one I'm talking to tonight. If there is passion for you for something, you need to stand up right now. You need to begin to work at it right now. You need to get yourself out of that bed or that chair or that sofa where you've been sitting all year round, because nothing is going to change until you change yourself. All right? So let your passion stir up the business within you. Let your anger stir up the business within you. That's what can stir up business. Those two things. So that's why I said you need to begin to think from within outside. People that think from within outside, I'm going to the second point now. You need to ask yourself the three most important questions. Before I go, I just want to say hi to lots of people watching. Kunle Ola. Wow, that's my professor. Kunle Ola. I'm so happy to see you watching. Okulaja Samson, Bimbo Bimibat. Thank you very much. Sunday Ihon Khan. God, forgive me for not calling that right. Thank you for watching. Luis Quero. Hey, Emmanuel. That's my jefe. Luis, we'll still see you on the 30th, right? That's great. Iglesia Dulces, thank you, Pastor, for watching. Olubukola Adebayo, that's my vice president. Thank you for watching. Bomiola Kami, thank you for watching. Brianna Israel, thank you for watching all the way from the UK. Toyosi Adedutan Aboyade, thank you for watching. Felix Alunge, hello, bro. Hello, sir. How are you doing? Are you in Germany or I don't know? You're always traveling around. But thank you so much for watching. I saw that you shared my video last week and you invited lots of people. God bless you for that. I mean, that's the best thing you can do for me. And I appreciate that. And I know that whatever passion you have on your inside, whatever you really desire to do, I know that you have the strength and you have to go for it. You are one of the people that actually challenged me. You remember when you came from Valencia and you went on the street to go for what you actually wanted to get. I mean, that challenged me. It baffles me sometimes that people that actually live in a place, they don't see the opportunities until people come from outside. People from outside, they see the opportunities better than people that live within. Why? I'll tell you that in the third point. Because of the way we think. Because we've actually taken a status quo. We've actually accepted a particular way of life, and we're not going to change that. So sometimes you need people from outside to change your perspective for you. This man changed my perspective about Palma. I believe that all things are possible, even in this Mallorca, when he came around. He came from Valencia. He didn't know anybody, and he was making things happen. I was like, wow, I love people like this. Thank you for joining tonight. You're in Germany. God bless you. Ruben, Pastor Ruben, God bless you. Dios le bendiga mucho en el nombre de Jesús. Pronto vamos a hacer esto en castellano también, ¿vale? Yo sé que hay mucha gente que está mirando, que quieren que hablo castellano, pero en poco tiempo voy a empezar en castellano. Si Dios nos da un día libre, vamos a empezar algo en castellano. Si es 30 minutos o algo, ¿no? Será bien, ¿no? Amen. God bless you, Pastor. All right, so let me go quickly to the second point. Like I said, today I'm just relaxing and I'm just talking to you. I'm talking to you in particular that you're watching me. I mean, you need to start your business. And if you've started business before and you're struggling, maybe this is one of the reasons why you're struggling. Probably you didn't start that business because it was your passion. You didn't start because there was an anger that was stirred up within you. Maybe you started because of the things that surrounded you. The hunger, the poverty, maybe that was how you started. Or maybe you were laid off from job, or maybe because of your academics or what you studied in school. All those things are external. That's the truth. Because you studied accounting does not mean that you must have an accounting business. That's the truth. It might not be your passion. I studied chemical engineering. There is nothing, I'm not planning or thinking of even owning anything petroleum or chemical. Never. I've never thought about that. But thank God I studied that, because I was able to learn a couple of things, leverage and stuff like that. And we did a couple of management courses. But my passion has always been to teach, to empower people, and to do business. Business is my passion. I love business. I start businesses like anything. And it always works. My business is always work. Okay, and I love doing that for people too. Okay, so if you really want to start business and you don't know what to do, you can contact me. Just get in touch with me. We talk about it. I'll put you through. Okay, by the grace of God. Anyway, I'll put you through. And if you need money to start business, we work around it. Okay, I'm not promising you money right now, but we can always work around it. I love investing into businesses. If you don't know that, that's what we do in Topsol. We teach business, we operate and own businesses, and we promote businesses. So we invest in businesses. So, but before I can get to invest in your business, number one, I have to be sure it's your passion. I have to be sure that it was ignited, that business was ignited by the right element, okay? Not just by external factors, okay? Not just because there is no water in this place. Those are just opportunities. You just see some quick opportunities and you just snap it and then you turn it into business. And no, it doesn't work like that. That can work for a while. But I'm talking about businesses that will last and outlive even the owners. Those businesses are started by passion and by anger. Okay? So the second thing, Gift Yankee Love, God bless you. Owen Bessie, thank you very much. God bless you. The second thing is you have to ask yourself these three important questions. Okay, after you have been able to detect what your passion is or what you are hungry about and you want to change, then you ask yourself these three questions. The first question is why? Okay, the second question is how, and the third question is what. Now, the reverse is the case for so many people. They actually start with the question what. For example, if you are very hungry right now, if you are very hungry, and you're in a place like Nigeria where you can start any business. Let me give you a practical example. This happened to us. There was a time we were very hungry, okay? We were very poor. And we had not eaten for, I think, 3 days in a row. We were not fasting, okay? But, when things like that happen, you turn it into fasting. So when people go like, oh, you've not, we're fasting. But we're not actually fasting, we were hungry. And I began to think, I sat with my brothers and I said to them, what can we do to get money? What can we do to get money? And ideas came up. I said, okay, we can sell, we used to call it ice water. Okay. I said, we can sell ice water. Ice water is just, you put some water, you just get water from the tap or anywhere you get the water from. People who never cared. You put it in this cellophane bag, put it in the fridge when it's cold, then you put it in the cooler and then you go to sell. So I said, we can sell ice water. How? We buy some cellophane bags, we get some water from, the borehole, and then we put it in the freezer. Thank God there was electricity a bit then in Nigeria. And then we begin to sell. And we said, why? I said, because I'm hungry. Did you see how we asked the questions? We started with what can we do? And then we went to how can we do it? And then we now ask the question, but why should we do that? My brother was the one that asked that because, he loved doing some guy. I never cared. Up till now, I don't care. If it's business, I would do it. If I have to put stuffs on my head, if I have to go on the street, I'll go on the street. I'll just do my business if I have to do it. But my brother asked that question. He said, why? I said, because we are hungry and we're not going to die. All right. I mean, we did that, and of course, we got the result. We went out, we sold water, we got all the shame that we could. The second day in school was bloody. My brother had to fight a guy. I mean, why? Because the guy saw us selling pure water. I mean, the three of us, like walking in the sun. I could remember it was in New Baggy Market then in Ibadan, and we were selling pure water. I was like, oh, look at them, look at them. So when we got to school the second day, they dogged us out. They laughed at us. But my brother had to fight. I didn't know how to fight. I just talked them out. I said, well, whichever way, we got a lot of money. But that was it. I mean, but what am I saying? We got the result anyway, but we couldn't last long in that. Okay, why? Because we asked the question the wrong way. And that's what a lot of people are doing today. The first question you ask is, what can I do? When I talk to people like, but why are you just sitting down? You can do something. The first question is, but what can I do? No, that's not the first question to ask. Every long-standing business, every successful business, they ask the question from the back. Why? And you know that question can be answered. The question why can be answered by your passion or your anger. Shola, why do you want to start a class? Why? Because I don't like the way people don't understand the language. I don't like the way the fact that I have to go and interpret for a fellow Nigerian when he can also learn the language. That is why I need to do something. And then after the question why, then you ask the question how. Okay, so how do you do that? Well, by teaching, starting a class, and then you can do the what. Okay, so what do I need? Okay, I need to get a classroom, I need to get an office, and then you start. You find out that no matter what happens, even when things go adverse in such businesses, you stick to it. Why? Because there was a reason, there was a purpose why you started it. Can you see the difference now? So there should be a purpose. For example, one of the businesses I love so much, which I will still do anyway. I mean, I'm planning my life. I know the year that I will start is agriculture. I love agriculture. I don't even know how I'm going to make a lot of money from it because, I mean, the orientation we have from Africa is that farmers are not wealthy. Farmers don't make a lot of money. But I love agriculture. Why? Because I see lots of people that are hungry. I love agriculture because I believe in agriculture. I believe that giving food to the world is a big plus. Not even really for business, but for passion. I just love it, especially animal production. I love it so much. And I will do it by all means, by all standard. Assuming I had my own land in Europe now, I would have started. I mean, when I was in Nigeria, I had lots of chicken. I mean, I raised chicken, I raised rabbits, goats, talk about it. What? Fish, snails, everything, anything. I raised anything. Of course, we ate lots of them. I gave them names. They became my pets and stuff like that. But it was a thing of passion. Okay? I mean, I will still do that. I would love to do that. Then, the next thing I would think, if I have such a passion, is how? How can I do that? Okay, I want to go large scale. I want to go small scale. I want to go medium scale. That is the how. Then what do I need? That is when I can begin to think about the capital, the human resources, the land resources, the time, and all that. This is the way that long-lasting businesses start. They start from the question why. So you need to get your why. All right. So if you have been thinking of starting business, like I said from the beginning, number one, you should find your passion or what you are angry about, what you are passionate about, or what you are hungry about. Then you ask yourself these three questions. Why should I do this? How do I do this? And what do I need to achieve this? So if you can do that, you are on your way to starting good business. Let me say hello to Michelina Petrosa. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. I'm so happy to see you. Anthony Chidi Onye. This is your name, Onye Kaunwu. Anthony, thank you very much for joining. God bless you. Mommy Rebecca Fagbone, God bless you, ma. I love you so much joining me from the United States. God bless you. God bless your family. It's an honor, actually, to have you. Gift Yankee Love, thank you very much. Good evening to you too. God bless you very much. Long time. Yeah, I know it's long time. Many people don't get to see me often these days. I know it's my schedule. Don't worry. In few years' time, I'll be so much available to the public again. I promise you. But I mean, come on, let's join up here every Monday by 8 p.m. Let's chat, let's talk business, let's encourage one another, let's make our lives better. That's why we are here, okay? So thank you very much, Steve Adetela. God bless you very much. I believe in you too. I believe in you, gifts. I believe you're doing something. I believe there is greatness within you. And I believe that there is much more even within you than you can think or imagine. God bless you, Olu Akande Babajide. Thank you very much for joining in tonight. All right. So all of you, please, the only thing you can do for me is to share this video, okay? Share it, let others get to see it, okay? Let's make it bigger, a little bit bigger. That's the encouragement I need from you. Thank you very much. All right, let me move a little bit further, okay? We've talked about you getting to know your passion and your anger, okay? I mean, if you're angry about the security problem in Nigeria, why don't you think about doing something about that? You know, there were people that got angry about the education system and they started schools. There are so many others that started schools because they wanted to make money. Okay, those people reap other people off. That's not what I'm talking about. But there are people that are angry about the standard of education in Nigeria and they are starting schools of standard. And you find out that those that actually do that for real, their school fees are not always high. Of course, it has to be higher than normal. I mean, because to have standard, it costs, okay? I mean, the program I'm doing here, I can as well use my phone, okay, every night, you know, and I'll put it and I will be looking for where light is. But look at how beautiful this studio is. I mean, you are enjoying it. This costs money. Hello? Yeah, so good things cost money. All right, and if you are watching me and you're pressing like, you can also, you know, ask for my account number so that you can sponsor this program. All right, or if you have businesses, I can promote your businesses. All right, we can put it on the backdrop. Okay, let's promote your businesses. Pay for the studio, right? I mean, but what I'm saying is, good things cost money. All right, so I mean that. They started schools in Nigeria because this is one topic that lots of people are angry about, that they started good schools in Nigeria and then you expect them to, you know, receive low, what do you call it, low school fees. It's not going to be possible. Good things are expensive, bro, sister. Good things are expensive. People need to pay, okay, for standard. All right. So, but what I'm saying is you don't extort people. You don't extort people. People that actually have passion, you know, for success, people that actually have passion for business, people that actually have passion even for what they are starting, people that actually are angry about something, they don't extort other people. No, they are always out there to prefer solution. They are always out there to enjoy what they are doing. And then the, you know, profit that comes is just an addition. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So after you've done that, you ask your questions. Why am I doing this? How should I do this? And what do I need to do this? There is a saying, I will just say it. Olaolu Abimbola, thank you very much for joining again tonight. Very soon we're going to have good news, okay? I tell you that you are a very solid person. Very soon we're going to have good news. Israel Abayomi Babayomi, thank you for joining. Okay, go and start a business. Israel, go and start a business. I know what your passion is. Look for a way, okay, to start your business around your passion. It's going to pay you off, okay? Thank you very much, Rejoice J. Michael. Thank you for joining in. All right, there is a saying here. It says that people don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. Ah, Jesus. Let me come again. Listen. People don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. Have you wondered why people buy a particular brand of products and they don't buy the others? Because people don't buy what you're doing. They buy why you are doing it. The reason why you are sticking to watch this program is not because of what I am doing. There are so many people. You can easily go on YouTube. If you want to listen to just any motivation, you can go on YouTube and just click it and watch it. But the reason why you are listening is because there is a why. There is a purpose for what we are doing here. And that's what I always have in my mind. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So people really need to know how much you care. when people know how much you care, then they care how much you know. But a lot of us, we don't really consider that. We just do things because we feel that this is just business for me. No, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So you need to be very cautious about that. That's why that question is very important. That's why you have to ask it the right way. You have to ask the why first, and then the how, and then the what. But if you ask the what first, you'll find out that people will not patronize you. Even if they do, they are just doing that because they have no option. When the better option comes, when there is an option that gives them the why, they will leave you. Think about that. Okay? All right. Thank you very much, Pascal Ikena Apulono. Thank you for joining me tonight. Please, as you're just joining, just share. Second to the last point I want to discuss tonight, I say employ your brain. I love when I was writing this, I said it to myself like 3-4 times. I said, Shola, employ your brain and pay it with actions. As you employ people to work for you, a lot of us, we don't employ our brains. Our brains don't work. Someone used to say, a pastor actually, when he's preaching, he would say, God gave you brains. Why? To think, to use. Not so that you pray about everything. No, he gives you brains so that you can think. But I found out that a lot of us, we actually don't employ our brains. Myself included. I mean, of course, I do now. But a lot of people don't employ their brains. They want other people to think for them. They want the society to think for them. They want life to think for them. They want other businesses to think for them. No, it doesn't work like that. You have to be able to employ your brain. And how do you pay your brain back? I mean, if you employ your brain, that's you're using your brain, you're thinking, you're making your brain work and really work hard, you need to pay. Every worker is what? Every worker deserves a reward. So the thing that you can reward your brain with is what? Is action. So it's very useless when you employ your brain and then your brain does a lot of work and then you don't go into action. What happens? You find out that your brain becomes non-productive. It will reduce its capability. Why? Because there is no corresponding action to the work that it's doing. So when you employ your brain, the only way you pay back is with actions. You can't just keep thinking and thinking and thinking. Before you know it, you become a daydreamer. It's good to daydream, but it's good to take actions. Put the first leg forward. There are so many people, they've been thinking about businesses now for years. Oh, my brother, if I have this money, if I can just have 10,000 euros now, I know what to do. I can do this, I can do that. Yes, you can do this, you can do that. But when you have the first 100 euros, why don't you take the first step? Take the first step. Do what 100 euros can do before the 10,000 will come. But a lot of us, we want to wait until that 10,000 comes. And then the brain becomes dormant. Because at the point, the brain gets tired. Because there is nothing working. There is nothing moving. So that's why I said, employ your brain and pay it with actions. All right. So how do you employ your brain? Think. You need to think. And when you're thinking, you need to brainstorm. There is a difference between thinking and brainstorming. I do a lot of brainstorming. A lot. Of course, everybody thinks. Even a madman thinks. Everybody thinks. I mean, that's an ability that God has given to every man. Every man thinks, but not every man brainstorms. So there is a difference between thinking and brainstorming. So when you want to start business, after you have your passion, you have your anger, you know what you want to do, and then you've asked yourself why you want to do it, how you want to do it, and what you're going to do. The next thing is to employ your brain. You need to start thinking and brainstorming. When you brainstorm also, you criticize. You have to criticize your ideas. You have to criticize yourself, all right? You have to overcome the fear factor. The fear of the unknown, the fear of failure, and even the fear of success. What if it doesn't work? Yeah, what if it doesn't work? I'm not going to die. It's not going to be the end of the world. I'm going to start and try again. So all those things you have to think, okay, what can I do that this business will fail? Who are the people that have gone into these and they failed? Who are the people that have gone and they succeeded? What has been the difference? You need to really do a lot of brain work. I used to say to people, think well so that you pray less. When you think well, you pray less. But when you don't think well, you pray more. because you live in a world of the unknown. There are so many things in life that ordinary thinking will do for us, but a lot of us are not ready to think. Okay, you have an idea of going into animal production, like I said, agriculture. There are so many things you need to think about. What kind of animals can I raise? What are the environments in which I can raise these animals? What are the dangers that these animals can encounter? What are the predators? What are the foods that they can eat? How can I improvise? What if there is a lack in this food? I mean, there are a lot of things that you need to think, and you need to think through. Okay, that's what the consultants do. So you need to consult for your own life. You need to consult for your own future. You need to consult for your business every day, and it's an everyday thing, because every day new challenges come in business. Okay, so like I said, employ your brain and pay it with actions. Lastly, tonight, you must be able to think outside the box. Like I said earlier, I said I was going to answer the question why people from outside, they see better opportunities than those that are inside. Maybe they are in a particular city. Do you know, I live in Mallorca, and it's so amusing when the tourists come on the island and they tell us so many business opportunities, so many things that we should have done, and we're not doing them. Why? Because we don't see them. So why is it that people from outside, they see better things? They see better. I mean, they have a better perspective to business and opportunities than those that live within. Because those that live within refuse to think outside the box. They think just within where they are. You need to think outside the box. To really start business and really excel in business, you need to think outside the box. I want to challenge you tonight. How have you been thinking? You need to begin to change your thought pattern. You need to begin to have a paradigm shift in everything you do in life. Begin to question everything you do on a daily basis. I do that every blessed day. Every day. When I go back home, I want to criticize what I've said today. I want to criticize how I sat, how I talked to people, how I addressed issues. I want to listen again. I want to criticize. I want to think outside the box. Okay, what else can I do? What can I do that others are not yet doing? That is what you need to do. Okay, so it's very important. I'm still going to say hello before I round off tonight. Alejo Ekoka, thank you for watching. Ilkaya, thank you. Loreto Concha. I'm thinking I'm going to bring Loreto. I'm going to bring you one day to my show, because you have lots to teach people. I used to call her my wisdom box. I mean, she teaches me a lot of things. Jimmy Sayo Adigun, Lois Bishi, we need to talk, all right? I mean, there is an opportunity that is hanging and you're not telling me about it. Come on, call me up. Let's talk. Ololade Funke, thank you very much for joining. So many people have joined tonight, and I'm so grateful, and I'm so blessed to have you people listening to this. And please, as you're watching, I also want you to contribute. If you have questions, I want to take questions. I want to learn from you too, okay? And like I said at the beginning, maybe at the middle, if you have businesses that you want us to promote for you, topsol, that is what we do. Just send me a message. My phone number is there. You can call me up. Or better still, you can send me a WhatsApp message. Let's talk about it. I'm going to call you. Don't worry. You just send me a message. I will call you because I need you right now, okay? Now, I need people. Let's promote your business. Let's talk about your business. Let's see any way that we can promote you, any way that we can assist you, any way that we can join you to make it work, okay? And maybe you've not even started. You don't know how to start. Call me up one-on-one. Let's talk about it. I tell you that it's very possible. You might be thinking it's impossible. You might be thinking it's stupid, but it's very possible. Lastly, when you think outside the box, this is what happens. You have to be ready to be different, okay? You have to be different. I say that being different is the antidote to competition. A lot of people enter into business and they find a lot of competition. The reason why you're going to compete with other people in business is when you are not different from them. I don't compete with people. People know me for that. I never compete with people. When I start something and I see that other people are starting it, then I look for the next level. I always tell myself, Shola, it's time for you to move to the next level. I knew when I started in this land, I'm going to round up with this, all right? When I first came to this land, I started with making blogs for people. It was free of charge, but I was charging people to do that. And then people came to me, and I don't have secrets, so a lot of people came to me, how do you do that? And I showed them, and I found out that everybody was making blogs, okay? So I graduated to building websites, and I started building websites, and I was charging people to build websites. And before you know it, people actually saw that they can actually build websites on their own. And I stopped that and I moved on to the next thing. I moved on to online business. That's what I do. I never stay on a level. I always think outside the box. I always stand different. When other people start doing what I'm doing today, I'm telling you I'm going to the next level. You will never catch me. I never compete with people. I can only compliment you, can only compliment me, but you will never compete with me because I always raise the bars. And that's what I'm saying to you. So when you begin to think outside the box, you become different. And then you should be ready to be crazy. Only crazy people can do business. I was talking with a brother yesterday, and I told him how I stopped the kind of job I was doing when I first came to this. I did that job for 4 years. I said, when I stopped that job, okay, when God told me to stop, I mean, it was the most terrible time to stop working. You know, and you don't really know the decision you've taken until you begin to see the repercussion, all right? So the night that I said I wasn't going to do this job again, my wife just gave birth. I think 2 weeks after she gave birth, we needed to move into a new apartment. We needed to rent an apartment. We were in a room. We needed to rent an apartment. I mean, so I had bills to pay. And I quit my job. And I said, I want to stand. I want to start on my own. I want to do what I'm passionate about. I want to have an office. I want to consult for people. I want to teach and all that. I must tell you that the first few months was hell, honestly, but we passed through it. And a lot of people called me, so many people called me and said, Shola, you are crazy. I said, I know. You have to be crazy to actually stand on your own. People are not going to believe in you. People are not going to trust you. People are not going to accept you, but you have to be crazy. People call Jesus crazy. Why? Because he never thought the way other people were teaching. He never walked the way they walked. He taught people at the seaside. He taught them under the trees. He didn't teach them in the synagogue. He took his disciples around. He had a different ministry from what they knew. His messages were even different. Where they were supposed to kill, he said love. Where they were supposed to stone, he said deliver. I mean, it was crazy. And that is how business is. When you start out in business, people are going to say stuffs. People are going to tell you all kinds of things. But that doesn't matter. You just need to understand your why. And you should know that you are thinking outside the box. And lastly, you must be stubborn. Hello, you must be very stubborn. When you start out in business, please be stubborn, because storms are going to come. Tides are going to come. Difficult times are going to arise. But when you are stubborn, and what makes you to be stubborn? Because you know your why and you hold on to it. You know the reason why you're doing what you're doing. And when you are stubborn with it, I'm telling you, you're going to break through. I don't know if you're passing through that stage right now in your business. I want to encourage you. I want to hold your hand and tell you that you need to be stubborn. Da igual, like the Spanish people will say, notwithstanding, it doesn't matter what you're passing through. If you are stubborn and you stay by it, you're going to break through. I'm going to see you next week, Monday. Thank you very much, all the people that have watched Temi Talk with Akilakpa. God bless you. I want you to watch this all over again. And next week, we're going to be going into another dimension. We are moving gradually into starting your own business. And like I said, I need you to get in touch with me. Let's talk about your business. Let's talk about what you're doing right now. Let's promote you. Let's get you started. And I will see you next week. I want to say thank you very much to Cleveland TV and radio for bringing us online tonight and for always being there for us and giving us this quality that we have. This is the fastest growing and the most quality TV that we have right now, online TV that we have in Spain, and I tell you, in Europe. I love this, and it's going places. Thank you very much for all those that have watched, all those that have shared. I'll see you again next week, Monday, 8 p.m. Central European Time, and God bless you. God bless your dreams.